I don't have that sort of the same pressure as somebody inking somebody else's work.
It was right there, then it was right there.
Wait, did your kid have a question?
No, my kid wanted to come in and let me know that I messed up.
Oh, what'd you do?
I put the cord in the place where the cord was put, where her foot is supposed to be, and messed everything up, which was just told to me. That way. So,
well,
mistake
stop
to make.
firing stray bullets, dude. I love your favorite current comic, by the way. That's a good one, man. But I feel like you really stayed Image with all your favorites there, man. I really think that's the first time. Like, and that's dope, man. I remember reading Gen 13 back in the day, and Stray Bullets is, God, man. I don't know how much of it I read. I need to read the rest of it. I'll just say my life is entertainment or entertaining for a moment, Tony. And it was, yeah.
So some of it's not even out yet. I mean, Stray Bullets, they've done more since they moved to Image than they did in the whole 90s and 2000s. Like there were like 38 issues leading up to coming to Image, and then there's like 40 some of just Sunshine and Roses, the follow-up series, and then they did a book called The Killers. So there's a ton of Stray Bullets, but I don't know what's going on with it, because there's like 10 issues that aren't in trade yet. So I was reading it in trade, and then now I guess I'm gonna have to go buy those issues and read those.
Stop making my pull list longer, Tony. Between your shit and that, and it's. If you came here to get me to buy more comics,
Stray Toasters.
If it came here to get me to buy more comics, Tony, it's working. Like if that's why you came on the show.
That's why I do any podcast. I just want people to buy my comics mainly, but other ones too.
So comics.
Fair enough. And y'all get your comic on. Make sure you check the links in wherever the hell you're at. There's links in the description to find all of Tony's stuff. Right? Which is dude, it amazes me the variety you have. I honestly think, like to go from My Little Pony to you got Stray Dogs, and then you're working on Plush. I mean, those are all very, very different extremes.
And they're all pretty cute. 2 of them are about serial killers. 1 of them has unicorns, so that's different. But yeah, I see what you're saying. But that's like what we talked about at the beginning, right? Like, I look at stuff in terms of like stories and ideas, not so much in terms of like genres or like characters or whatever. So all of my stuff is sort of all over the place. Like I have, like all ages comics that I'm working on, and I have, like more adult, like Local Man's, like obviously for grown-up people, like to have a certain perspective. So yeah, I do have, and then like Ponies, or working on like Star Wars or Rick and Morty. Like that's just stuff that like when you draw a certain kind of way, those are the jobs that you get. But then working on them for as long as I did, like I worked on My Little Pony for 8 solid years, just straight working on that comic. And then, but I still work on it. Like I'm working on the TV show right now, and then I'm writing a thing for the comics, and like I always sort of have a toe in there. I just did some CCG. What did we say it was?
DCG.
I just did some artwork for one of those. Yeah. So yeah, but it's just sort of like stuff that I do. You're right. I do a wide variety of different things.
So I'm curious though, man, in that, Tony, like what you do in that wide variety, is there something that helps you get in certain mindsets, as far as if you're doing something, it has to be lighthearted. It really needs to be like, as opposed to something where, on the ends of Plush and Stray Dogs, where it don't matter. It can have that to it.
Yeah.
Is there something you do to keep yourself in that specific mindset, like music, whatever,
Yeah, I mean, it's more about just getting my head in the right place. It's not like I don't have like a transition I don't like put a show on or so like right now I'm gonna be positive, so let me put on something uplifting or whatever. But it's just a matter of like when I'm drawing stuff that is happy and bouncy, it does help to be in sort of like a lighter headspace, if like if you're going through dark stuff, it's sort of harder to do that type of thing. When a lot of my pony stuff, like I said, I've done like I did hundreds of covers for those, and I did almost 50 issues. And the covers you'll see sometimes they'll just be like real serious, like these ponies look mad, but it's just like it's impossible to do, like poppy and uplifting constantly for that long. Like it's just sort of like it's a lot.
So there were days, is what you're saying, Tony, where you
Sure.
just like, I gotta make these asshole ponies look like they're a little bit more assholish than they technically should be.
Yeah, or they would just, like they're all adventure stories, even though they're about like friendship and ice cream and stuff. So, there's always some element of danger. So you just make them look like they're being brave in the face of danger, right? Like that's the way around it, like this is not the scene at the beginning where they're like, sharing a milkshake. This is the scene at the end where they've got to stop the wizard or.
You ever had a situation where your mindset is so in the wrong mood when you're trying to create something? It's like you're just staring at an oval and getting really confused.
Yeah. Yeah, there's such a thing as like artist block or writer's block, but
Oh yeah.
the only way that I've found to deal with it is just sort of draw through it, like draw something else. If I'm working on a cover and I can't figure out what it is, I'll work on like a sketch of another thing, or flip it over and draw something else, and then just sort of like it's about letting your mind clear. And sometimes it's good to draw a thing and then leave it sitting there and come back the next day and just be like, oh, now I see what's wrong with this, or I see what I couldn't figure out yesterday. You just needed to take a step back.
All right, well, I'm gonna ask a question that's completely different than this series. So I'm about to segue real quick. Out of all of your creations, which one of your creations would you want to bring into the real world, Roger Rabbit style?
I mean, I guess Time Shopper, right? Like I have a time machine. That seems like the best one. That would be, and like the guy's basically just based on me. So I'd just be hanging out with a guy that was chill. We got along. We believe all the same things, and then we also have a time machine together. I wouldn't want to bring the serial killer into the real world, or the superhero with a dark past, or Can I bring My Little Pony into the real world? I didn't create those.
I mean, that's it. Or yeah, and you get what stuff you worked on too. You know what I'm saying?
That's interesting too.
Because the stories you've worked on and those influence those characters.
Yeah, that would be good. Like, I would be cool having like My Little Ponies be in the real world too. Like, because they got magic and stuff. They could fly. I feel like if there were Pegasuses and unicorns around, like people would probably be a lot more chill. They'd just be like, man, the world is wonderful. Before there was flying horses, I wasn't really, I was more negative about things. But now that I see that friendship is magic like that, it really, changed my perspective. World peace.
I feel you. No, in all honesty,
you can't be mad at the people you work with if like there's just horses flying around out there, right? It's too much.
Talking flying horses that can do magic and whatnot. Yeah, see, I couldn't stay mad too long because I'll go out and try to play. I'll be wanting to get my work done to go kick it.
Yeah, exactly. Go try and see what Pinkie Pie's up to.
See, and that's the thing. Like when the way they do the My Little Ponies have been done lately and whatnot, that you can relate to almost any one of them.
Yep.
In some shape, fashion, or form. And the other cool thing about them is that if it really did get nitty gritty, they about that life.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. They got the elements of harmony. They can really power up. If it's a fight, don't worry about it. They got it under control. They have horn magic.
Okay. So in that case,
they heal you.
I want to know. About it. No, I want to know, Tony. Do you think the My Little Ponies could handle like a Marvel or DC event and the bullshit that comes from it? A Dark Side, a Thanos.
Thanos is a lot. Dark Side. But I mean, if it's just like a regular crossover, you know, like I feel like they could handle Ultron or, you know, one
No,
of
I
those
meant
guys.
like I'm talking like something stupid, like Galactus, you know, like that level.
They have all of the ponies, like it's
No, no, no.
every pony.
Yeah, all the ponies, like just for yeah, because it's always all the X-Men or all the DC
Yeah,
characters.
you know, they got. I mean, one of them raises the sun. One of them makes the moon come up at night. Like these are powerful ponies. They're not
Yeah,
worried.
I was gonna say, I was
So,
like, some of these ponies ain't no joke,
so,
man.
so, so the My Little
I,
Ponies could like
I
whoop
actually
Thanos and
put some
Darkseid's
of
asses.
My
That's
Little Pony.
Well, they probably would, you know, probably make him see the error of his ways too. They're always teaching lessons. Most of their bad guys end up coming around.
That was another thing. Like that, when you said Galactus came into the thing, the sustenance level, that's his main thing. He needs to eat.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as the ponies found out that the man needed to eat,
Hook it up.
all right, you Earth ponies can grow food from like instantly.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like I can't believe I know so much about. It's
All right.
because
I like this discussion.
I was
No, but
honestly
they,
kind of surprised he
to
did.
just physically, I mean, a horse is strong anyway. I tried to write this thing one time where the ponies were like, where it was about to be on, and one of the ponies was just like, you know, we kick real hard too. And then and Hasbro was like, we can't talk about how hard the ponies can take. Like they have a bite that's like stronger than like the like 40. Like it's like 40 times stronger than a human bite a horse does. And they're like, yeah, we can't talk about how hard horses bite you. That's not what this is about. It's about friendship.
yeah.
Boo to
They say
Hasbro.
that somehow, some way, you see someone get kicked in the show or something like that, and they fly 300 feet out of nowhere and whatnot. And you're just like, what the heck just happened? And it's like, well, you know, Earth ponies can kick.
Knock all the apples out of a tree.
Yeah, like one, and not just one tree, a whole grove.
Yeah, orchard. Yeah. Forget about it. That's what they do. And then they're not even the magic ones.
Nah, they're the only ones that can make food grow, though.
Sure.
What?
I just didn't think we'd ever be this much on My Little Ponies to the point where we were like, let's bring them into the real world.
You guys are in my world now.
I know, no, but just the fact that, like, through this conversation, I've come to the conclusion that the My Little Ponies could kick the shit out of, like, most supervillains on almost any level, unless, like I think these,
most of them wouldn't even be a fight, though, bro. It wouldn't even be a fight. Most of it'll be a conversation.
Well, it also depends on how brutal the supervillains are, too. Because, like, you're not going to want to hurt these ponies. They're so cute. But if you're a monster...
What if Lobo got a contract to go kill the My Little Ponies?
Then it could be trouble. Because also it could be demoralized. If one of them gets killed in front of the rest of them, it's really gonna demoralize the rest of the bunch. They all love each other.
And let's face it, it's Lobo. He will come in with the cruelest and quickest of intents to just even. Can I say though, Tony, like you didn't even like Lobo in DC back in the day?
I liked him all right. Like I just wasn't. Do people see my questionnaire, or is it just like you guys just bring up random things?
I'm just bringing up random shit. That's right, Tony.
Yeah, I liked Lobo all right. Here's the DC stuff that I got really into when I was a kid.
Wait, real quick before you answer this, are you saying I should put it up so people can see it?
Sure.
Like, I mean, no, because I've thought about it. Because I got everybody saved, and I never said whether I would or wouldn't. And I think everybody was pretty much under the impression, that I would.
So notes or whatever. When it comes out, you click on the thing, and it's like, here's what this guy says about, whatever. That's fine. But yeah, I liked the Justice League sometimes. I like Batman. But I was never like, I got to keep reading this every month. I would dip in and dip out, where I would read like X-Men constantly, when they did Armageddon 2001, like in the early 90s, I was super into that until it just sort of like, that was my first crossover where I was like, oh, these suck. Like, I was so excited about this. And then it just like the buildup was so crazy, and then some editorial whatever happens, and they're just like, "Oh, it's going to be this guy," and you're just like, "Oh, well, now I don't care about it at all." So I just remember being so jazzed. I was like, "What's the world going to be like in 2001? How crazy will that be?" Batman Fucking Superman's the president of the United States. I can't wait to see that. But yeah, I got into some of that stuff, but it was just never like it never really grabbed me. And I think it's sort of the like DC is set up as like legacy heroes, and sort of like it's tied to, even though they have crises all the time, right? And they do reboots and stuff. Something about it is sort of like always tied to the history of it. And when you're reading Superman, you're thinking about like Kurt Swan's Superman, and like the early Superman. And Marvel, even though it's almost as old, just always felt a little bit more immediate, and sort of like it felt like DC was like your dad's comics and Marvel was like my comics.
And I think first I fully agree with you, Tony. I think that has to do a lot with the fact that they always focused on those three more than anything else. Like, there's a reason there's been more Batman and Superman films than anything when,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, they have all these other properties where Marvel was like, fuck it, let's do Blade,
Yeah.
and see if we can spin that with it. And it worked to where everything that they've done has worked to the degree that it has. And as far as Marvel, where, those were always DC's primary three characters. They brought the X-Men in, and then they updated the team so much that it was different. And I think they were better about keeping and introducing fresher characters, and making them relevant. Because,
and they were big. I mean, like, so the time that I was coming of age reading comics, like it's like you're saying, like there was the X-Men, and then there was the new X-Men, and so like the Wolverine, like Storm team comes along, and so then when I get there, it's like Jim Lee X-Men, and it's like the end of Claremont times. There's all these new characters. There's Gambit. There's like Bishop. Cable shows up. X-Force shows up. Like it was a lot of sort of like it felt exactly like the time that it was, like it felt like, oh, this is what superheroes are like here in 1991.
Real quick. If you're going to say Cable shows up, I can't go ahead and say, yo, Deadpool shows up too. Check out Fabian's interview. It's a couple episodes back, right?
Yeah,
I just got to bring that one up, Tony. But yeah, but let me. Oh, go ahead.
Hold on. Deadpool showed up, and he didn't make like an impact right away. It was like, this is a cool ass character, but it wasn't like I gotta see what the adventures of Deadpool are. That wasn't for like another 6, 7, 10 years after that.
Agreed.
He was badass. His hands came off. That was crazy.
But let me ask you to a greater effect of it revolves around that. Do you think that, because I've had this conversation with some of the creators, man, do you think there's a stigma about people getting into comics in this aspect, or in this time? Because if you look at Marvel and you look at DC, there's a lot of legacy in both of them, especially now. Like, a lot of people would say, like, it's difficult to jump in and just read a big event. What the hell are you doing, Hardaway? There.
Nothing happening and whatnot. My cat ran under my bed all fast, and I want to make sure why.
It's the best excuse I've ever heard.
All right, whatever. Fair enough. So the legacy characters. So, like, I mean, it's hard for someone to like jump in and read an event if they don't know shit about comics. Like, especially if they only know the movies and that's all they know. As opposed to where someone could pick up Stray Dogs and read it. You could pick up Vinyl or Plush and read it. You could, there's a lot of you could pick up. Why is my brain like time? Oh, Jesus Christ! Time Chopper. Thank you. My brain was wanting to say Time Copper. Sorry.
He wanted to say Time Cop. He wanted to say Time Cop.
It's because of Mark, man. Go check out Mark Verheiden's episode 2. I'm not just trying to promo people, man. I swear, it's just the name of that thing made me think of the name of that thing, and he did that thing. You know that thing I sent you? Did you watch it?
Did you get that thing I sent you?
Talking to me?
Yeah. You get that thing I sent you?
No, I didn't get anything.
I think we just confused Tony with the Attorney at Law reference. Birdman, for those that don't know.
Got it.
But no, back to my question. And so you think, and I mean, you can get into those things quickly and just pick them up. I wouldn't so much say local man. I think you need to have a bit of history as far as image and that. You know, I think it kind of shares that in line with jumping into Marvel and DC. Not near as much because, you know what I mean? I think you could pick up everything about what the backstory of Local Man is way quicker than you could, you know, go read the newest Secret Wars that just dropped and understand who everyone is within that. As far as there's 2 Reed Richards, there's this, there's that. There's a lot of legacy in that. Do you think that has an impact on people reading comics and the comics they read going into a shop? I know that's a really long ass winded question, Tony. Sorry.
I mean, yeah, I think that, like, as an industry, it's smarter for us to do stuff that new readers could pick up on and read, which I think we're basically doing, you know, like, but there, so it's like long money and short money, right? Like, you have to think about what's going to keep the bills paid day to day, right? And so let's service these people that always buy X-Men, that always buy Batman and stuff like that. They're going to buy these books, and that keeps, you know, the doors open at comic book stores, and it keeps the employees there's bills paid, and it keep, you know, like, there's a industry built around this. Not the not like the making comics industry, but like the industry of selling and retailing comics and stuff, like how comics get out to the world. So for that to sort of maintain and keep going, you kind of still have to have like, there has to be a X-Men that comes out, and there has to be a Batman that comes out, and that's how they pay their bills and feed their family and stuff. But I don't know that necessarily like a new X-Men reader is born every day. And especially whereas, like, you know, you go see the movies, and then, like, I mean, X-Men movies have been around for 20 years, and there's a continuity to those, and like at this point too. But it's not like, even having seen all those, you could just go and say, like, all right, well, what's the X-Men that I buy, you know, if I want to read about, you know, the adventures of Wolverine and Cyclops and Jean Grey and blah, 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 you know, like, it's like we could give you, you know, all right, we'll check out the Claremont stuff and check out the Joss Whedon stuff and check, you know, like, you know, here, you know, like, here, this is the new one, it's Hickman, but it also, like, you have to know a lot about, you know, all of a sudden there's going to be Mr. Sinister, and you're going to be like, what, what is Nimrod, you know? But that's also how it was when I started reading comics. Like, everybody that started reading it jumped in and sort of figured stuff out as they went along. And there wasn't every comic book on Earth online when I started reading comics. You know, like, I didn't know who Nimrod was, and I had to go figure it out, you know, like reading back issues. I couldn't just pull up Wikipedia or steal it online or go to Comixology or Marvel Unlimited or whatever. So I don't know. You know, I feel like the smart move for creators is definitely to make your own thing and own your own stuff and tell your own stories. And, like, that's the way you can sort of like set yourself apart from the crowd, is have, like, this is what my thing is. But what you were saying, like, I do a bunch of wildly different stuff. It's sort of like, I'm saying that out of one side of my mouth, but on the other hand, it's like, I don't have necessarily like a brand that's like, oh, this is what a Tony Fleecs comic is like, you know, besides hopefully just that it's decent, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I'll definitely have to agree with you. Like, I don't know that, I mean, I like, because going through everything I have, looking at all the art, I mean, it's such a wide variety that it would be hard to brand it into one particular thing, in my opinion, which could be an excellent thing in what you do, man. It can mean your brand is what you need. What you need. No, what you need. I'm Tony Fleecs, man. What you need. Right?
Good stuff. Yeah.
Tony Soprano of the comic book industry and shit.
But I mean, comics used to be, you get into comics, you come in through mainstream comics, you know, you make a name doing, you know, X-Men or something, like Spider-Man or something, and then you either do that for your whole career, or you jump off and make your own thing, and then you take your audience that you built drawing X-Men or Spider-Man, and you take them to your own thing. And it's starting to change and not be that exact same. I mean, it's not the same for everybody all the time anyway, but it's starting to be, people are coming to comics from so many different places. Like, they grew up reading like YA comics, or like My Little Pony comics, or they grew up reading manga. and now they come in and they're just looking for like different kind of stories, not necessarily like the continuing adventures of Wolverine or whatever.
And I totally agree with you in that, as far as even like if you look at like just how Image formed. That's how Image formed. It was a bunch of guys that were working on Marvel books. They got pissed about the fact that they're just creating character and character and character, and Marvel's just taking it and they have no rights. So they're like, and leave. I mean, that was the story of how Image was created. What, a little over 30 years ago now, right? Yeah. And I think that's a move that definitely changed the industry, is when Image did what it did, because I think it showed a lot of different people that it's like, oh, so you don't have to, like, you can just make different comics and it could work. Now, to that same effect, though, man, I'm curious. Then you see, I mean, I mean, there were comic book movies previously, but I would say the current comic book movie just skyrocketing really started with Blade, right?
Yeah.
And then it's just continued on. Now, at that point, in the midst of all this, Disney ends up buying Marvel. So you've got it to where everything from DC is now locked up and everything from Marvel is now locked up, because DC's done, or Warner Brothers has seen what Disney's done, and they're like, oh, we want to do that too. Can you guys do it right, please? Like, I don't know if you got Eisner Miller locked in a room somewhere or something, because he hasn't done anything dumb for a while. So I'm starting to think they've got him locked up somewhere. Let's be real honest. All right, and much love to the dude. I don't know. I hope you're okay mentally. I wanted a good Flash movie. That's one of the few DC characters I really cared for. But in that happening, man, what do you think of the change that caused, when suddenly Hollywood's only access, as far as other studios, wasn't Marvel, it wasn't DC?
I guess I don't understand. What are you asking about? Like
As far as when those two names were taken off the board,
or locked up.
people,
Saying
yeah,
like,
people still
well,
wanted to do comic book movies.
It's interesting because like the thing that comics used to do that nothing else could do, like adventure stories with like huge action and like, you know, a million different superheroes, and like, you know, you care about them and you know their backstory and you care about their side characters and all, like the stuff you'd go to comics for. Now there's something else that does that too, right? Like you go, like you can, is the best version of the Avengers in comic books or is it in Endgame? You know, like it's debatable, right? And like I love comic books. Like I believe in comic books. I love them more than I love almost anything. So, but so the like they caught up. Like movies caught up. They figured out how to do what comics were doing, and now they do like we used to think in like the 90s, early 2000s, the DC animated stuff, like they would take those superhero stories and do like the streamlined, perfect version of them, you know, like Justice League Unlimited or like Batman animated series. And it seems like movies have now caught up to that too, where it's just like take everything that's great about Ant-Man and just put that all into a movie. And then, you know, my mom knows what fucking Ant-Man's real name is now, you know, like, so, so like that. So it's like, there's an argument to be had that the stuff that you used to come to comics for, now somebody else knows how to do that too. And so it's about comics, the thing that comics can do, which is you can tell a story with anything in it. Budget's no option, you know, like you can do it just by yourself. You can put a whole story together with pictures and words and just put it out by yourself. So the way that it used to be, like we come to comics for spectacle and explosions and action and stuff like that, it might be now that we're going to come to them for ideas and just like something that I haven't seen somewhere else, something where it's just like, oh, nobody would ever spend, you know, $40 million to make that, or $200 million to make that, you know, like if even like Stray Dogs is a pretty commercial idea. It's weird. But you know, like if it wasn't a comic book, nobody's just going to be like, well, let's just make a movie of that. That's crazy. What a great idea. You know, like, but you can put it together in a comic and just, and then the story's out there. So I don't know if that's necessarily an exact answer to your question, but like when I talk to Hollywood people about my comics and my ideas and stuff, it superhero stuff is over here. Like you're saying, like DC, Warner Brothers, Disney, like that's all they're handling all that. They make all that stuff. And then people that are producing new stuff and looking for new things to adapt, they're not necessarily looking for, like what's our Avengers. They're just going like, what's an interesting new thing that nobody else has done yet, or and you can do that in comics.
Can I say, man, in that there's this part of me that like, okay, so there's the Marvel universe. They've done it phenomenally, right? There's the DC universe. I don't know what their whole plan is because like with James Gunn and I don't remember the other individual who are taking it over are apparently trying to wipe the slate pretty much clean, if I can say it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like from the so I don't know what's all going to go forward in that. Hopefully, they can successfully build the universe. I feel like there are two universes, which is terrible because they're technically the same comic book company. But one being Image, the other being Top Cow. That if you could build them properly, they're they're very different, but they're still superhero in a lot of ways. But there's so much more. I mean, from the Gen 13 to like if you got to the point where you did Local Man, that's so a completely different story that you could build out of that whole universe, but then have other aspects to where you could play up to that. And then Top Cow is a whole another ordeal in and of itself as far as with how they use the artifacts and everything you could get into there. Why do you think it is you don't see these other companies? Like, why do you think they're afraid to try and play that game? I mean, because shit, I don't remember the name of the company, but whoever's doing it with Godzilla and the Monster Universe,
Legendary.
Legendary. Thank you. They're doing that fairly successfully. I mean, I guess you could say there's a Fast and Furious universe and a Transformers universe.
Yeah, everything's a franchise now. I get what
But
you're saying. I
but
don't
I
think
don't.
that necessarily that it's a people being afraid, but it is like what I said. Like the Marvel, like when they made Iron Man, nobody was going like, "Oh, this is going to be a sure thing and it's going to be what the popular culture is for the next 20 years or whatever," right? But now that it's there, it exists, and so like if you wanted, like if somebody was like, "Oh, we're going to make the Top Cow extended universe in movies," like it's a little bit of a safer, like it's a, I guess it's a little bit more proven because there have been superhero movies are like the dominant form of pop culture, right? Like it's the thing that makes the most money. It's the thing everybody goes and sees. So if you come out and you say like, oh, this is the Cyberforce, universe, or this is the Darkness universe, or the Witchblade, whatever. Um, but at the same time, the same way Marvel and DC used to do that in comics, like that's something that they have covered. And so a lot of times when people come to comics, they're going like, we don't need to make like the straight superhero thing. We want to look for something a little bit off kilter because they already make those and they have an unlimited, Marvel's got the budget behind it. They've got the years and years of stories and thousands of characters. So if you're just like, well, let's make a superhero thing, like the safer bet is just to make one of those that already exists.
And they have the mouse.
Runaways TV, or they'll do TV shows on Disney Plus or whatever. What'd you say?
Yeah. I said they have the mouse. Tony.
Yeah,
They have.
got budget. They got endless money.
Yeah.
Seems like.
The mouse is a key factor to that, in my opinion. It really is. Hardaway, you just gonna keep on eating stuff?
Look, for one, Image is breaking out and doing all sorts of fucking TV shows and cartoons and whatnot, and almost every last one has been successful.
Yeah,
that's true. I would just like.
Two, hold on.
Oh, go ahead.
Hold on. Two, Boom Comics is the one who does Power Rangers, so on and so forth. Also, extraordinarily successful franchises and shows. Mm-hmm. You will never, ever not have Godzilla and King Kong and all of them. All right, they won't not sell. Okay, giant lizards that shoot out freaking radiation beams and blows up
Dude,
USSR
don't,
and USA ships. You're like,
don't
yes, kill
know.
the enemy and our allies.
Do you not remember like the 2000 one?
That was good too. Don't everybody can sit there and hate all they want, but it was still good.
I mean, I didn't mind it either, but yeah, it was like critically
No,
panned.
that
Like,
one that made Godzilla look streamlined and angry. All right. Then they had to check. Now see, the thing is this because the original Godzilla looked goofy. All right. The only reason why everybody loved him was because he smacked the shit out of things.
Yeah.
Okay. And when you smack the shit out of skyscrapers, everybody's just gonna sit there and go, woo, regardless. Okay. So you had Godzilla smacking skyscrapers back in the day in the 60s in a rubber suit. Cool. When 2099 or 99 came out, everybody was like, that's Godzilla? Godzilla started wrecking shop, then had babies that were like little raptors eating everybody. Everybody was like, that is insane. And then they went and had a cartoon that was also successful. Okay, so
it's a lot of history about this Godzilla. I see what you're saying.
Yeah,
right,
but Hardaway. But my point is though, bro, that's not an actual movie universe like the Justice League or the Avengers, where they all have
Godzilla has definitely a movie universe, bro. Like the whole entire original 16 line is one story.
Fair enough, man. You're going into way too many semantics about my question and not.
I want to talk about now. I don't care about all this other shit we've been talking about. I just want to hear Hardaway's take on Godzilla 2000.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Go ahead.
No, like, look,
we're going to be here 3 more hours.
I'm going to go take a smoke break. Everybody that was dope. Yeah. All right, the stadium scene when they when they fell into the subway and they found all the eggs and they started hatching. You can't, nobody sit there and say they weren't like, well, shit's about to get real. All right, so it's like everybody get like all the purists and whatnot. They can talk all the shit they want. All right, here's the thing: the sheer fact that Godzilla even had to stay in the same moment as King Kong shows the atrocities that they're trying to create nowadays. Okay, but and that's me personally because I don't believe you can grab a tree and hit Godzilla and it cause a problem.
Wait, so you're saying Godzilla versus King Kong? You don't think King Kong even belongs in this conversation?
No.
Wait. You seen Godzilla versus Kong, right, Tony? I mean, the first fight.
I've seen every Godzilla versus Kong. Anytime you put those two together, I'm there.
Yeah, but that's my point. In the first fight of that movie, I think they showed it the most justice, where literally Godzilla is just pretty much beating the shit out of him. Like it's like, dude, you're a gorilla, right? I don't care. I'm a giant.
He doesn't give a fuck. That's what's important about King Kong is that he's hardcore and he doesn't give a shit and he just keeps going.
But no, that's true. That's true. But here's the thing. This is why I will always say that King Kong. I got love for King Kong, but he's like A tier and Godzilla's a S tier. Okay, you're talking about a being. Godzilla fought Ultraman.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Ultraman.
Hey, real quick. They just made a new Ultraman movie. I found out recently. I just have to throw that out there. Yeah, just for everyone watching.
From the makers of Shin Godzilla.
Yeah, I was like, huh.
That might be cool to watch.
Yeah,
but no, like
I need to keep it. Just had to throw that out there.
There's too many. What's up? Oh, come here.
Does she have a question for Tony?
No, here you go. Well, no, when it comes to the thing is like I think King Kong, the only way King Kong is going to be able to do any real damage to me is if he was somehow, some way to pilot Mechagodzilla.
Oh, now you're talking my language. How great would that be? Man.
Yeah, that's like and that would be dangerous because
like
Mechagodzilla
suit.
Yeah, see that to me would make a legitimate fight because you're talking Godzilla kills fucking gods, bro. Intergalactic gods that fly from like light years away to come get some and then get handled. All right. So it's like that's why when it comes to King Kong, you got to give that man not just a shield and a bat or some shit like that. He gotta come in there strapped hard. All right.
I think King Kong out of the two of them has more heart though. I think that's what it is. Like he just Godzilla is stronger, has more superpowers, shoots fire and stuff, but I think King Kong wants it more, and that's why it's a matchup that we want to see.
Okay, but you know what? The
It's just
one
me.
thing.
Let's see. I'm just
the one thing.
I can see that.
Hold on, Hardaway. The one thing that they have never called King Kong is the thing they always call Godzilla, King of Monsters, and it's because, in my opinion, Tony, the very thing that you just said, he's fucking heartless. He doesn't care. He's there to exist. Leave me alone, or I will breathe atomic fire down your neck. And
see,
huge.
In the original storyline, Godzilla was called by the twins. You know what I'm saying? To bring forth calamity towards the earth, not just for calamity's sake, but to wipe the slate clean. That is Earth. I'm going to reset everything. All right. So when Earth is like, I'm done with everybody and every monster on the field, I'm calling Godzilla and he's going to regulate you. Because here's the thing. If you ever watch the animation about Godzilla, they show you that when Godzilla comes, the continents fall. It's not just like, oh, he's going to take out a city and whatnot. The original Godzilla that they fought in Shin Godzilla, all right, in the future is the size of Africa. And you are literally running around fighting his babies that are the size of him as when you first seen him in Shin Godzilla. Those are his children that they're fighting in that animation.
They did
not even Godzilla.
Shin Godzilla?
Huh?
They did an animated follow-up to that?
Yeah, there's a few on Netflix. Oh my god!
I don't. Wait. Actually, hold on. Hardaway, I know exactly what you're referring to. It's a Godzilla animated series. I do not believe it to be a sequel to Shin Godzilla, the Japanese film that you're referring to, Tony, because I've seen them both. They're both excellent, but they are very, very different takes on Godzilla, respectively.
It's Netflix animation you're talking about.
Yeah.
I bought TV just for King Kong versus Godzilla because it came out during lockdown too, and I was enraged that I couldn't go see it in IMAX. It was like all I wanted to see was just like those two huge monsters beating on each other, and so I had a TV that was a decent size, but I was just like, fuck that. I had to get the biggest TV I could possibly get.
So to that
I'm mad at you,
Tony. I want to know. You got a kaiju story in you brewing?
Well, maybe. I guess I don't really like off the top of my head. I don't have something like that's written down in my notebook. But I do love a kaiju. I do love Godzilla. My friend Sophie Campbell, she's got kaiju stories. I feel like she's gonna make a great one at some point. She does Ninja Turtles right now, but I feel like she'll do a good kaiju before I'll get around to it.
With the way you did the serial killer thing in Stray Dogs, which again, y'all, if y'all like serial killer stories and you want one that you've never read, like it, and never see, like Stray Dogs, it's.
I think the thing with kaiju for me, like the stories that I like to tell generally are like more localized, like more about people, and like Stray Dogs happens inside one house, like it's a small story about characters, and with kaiju it's always such like a big thing. And the parts I hate about kaiju stuff is the stuff that's about the people, so like it would be hard for me to wrap my head around like how to tell a story with that because I hate that part, like, so
you like Monster Island though?
Which one?
With Baby Godzilla?
Oh yeah, for sure.
All I know.
So if you're gonna tell a story that way. Like that, you know what I'm saying? Just through the eyes of the kaiju.
But then those are the people. I guess. Did you read Kaiju Max, the one where it's about kaiju jail?
No. That sounds great though.
I need to read that. That sounds
Xander Kane did it. Add more stuff to your reading list.
What is dinging?
That's my phone. I don't know how to make it stop.
Okay, I'm like, Jesus, that is loud.
Yeah, my brother had a baby.
Did it to help us
Well,
remember
congratulations
what
to
he
your
just
brother,
said.
Tony.
Thank you.
That's another first on the show, man. There's a new baby in the world, you know.
Now, yesterday they had the baby. They're just sending around pictures of it. So it's
Well, congratulations to him very much still.
thank you. Bailey. There it is again. That's probably just a picture of Bailey. Let's see.
Happy baby.
We
Yeah,
have
sure
babies.
enough.
We have dogs.
It's a happy baby.
I'll tell you.
Oh yeah, happy baby.
Oh,
Little devil.
oh man, kids. I love kids, man. Hey, can I say? Well, I want to get into one last thing real quick,
Okay.
and then if Hardaway's got anything else, but I'm curious, man. You said comics is something that really helped you begin to read. You know what I mean? And I know for a fact there's a reason I say Stan Lee is my greatest influence as a hip hop artist. It's because, but he's the easiest person to name, because I'm not gonna name every comic book artist writer and everything, and because it would become an excessively long list. Because it would be really funny. Who's your greatest influence as an MC? All these comic book writers and artists, dude. There's not a single hip hop artist on there. I know. What's your fucking point? But that's why I say Stan Lee, because it did definitely help my comprehension. Do you feel like we've done enough to lose the stigma? Because for people to realize that comic books are literature. You know what I mean? Comic books are not they're not fucking funny books, bro. They go all over the place. Like Stray Dogs is not fucking funny. Well, it has a couple funny moments, right? But it's overall it's not fucking funny, Tony. That's why I didn't have it physically yet. All right, because it's not fucking funny. A couple funny moments, right? But I really wish that Dave would have recommended Time Shopper to me, but that's a whole nother fucking point. I'll give him
Kickstarter. It's not his fault. Don't worry about it.
all right. Well, I'll give him shit for it anyways. I don't even care, Tony.
He's just beat a dead horse. You know what I'm saying? Like he's just he got wrapped in his head because he's got a lot. He's got a lot of angst and animosity about that. You can hear it and whatnot. No, the real question is that out of all of the My Little Ponies there, which one do you think could reform Cassidy?
What?
Oh, Carnage.
Oh, could come back as Carnage, you're saying?
No, reform Carnage. Like make Carnage.
Oh, reform, like I see.
Make him a nice person again. They're good at that. They're good at making bad people good.
For the symbiote.
That's debatable, bro. I swear. I don't know. Everybody argues about the pronunciation of that.
It's not an argument. It's symbiote. That's how it's pronounced.
Yes, it's symbiote. She said Thank you.
I would say Fluttershy. She sort of handles like wounded, weird characters and can sort of like show compassion to them. And I feel frightened for her because this is a murderer with a symbiote. But she also can fly. And so if shit hit the fan, I feel like she could get out of there pretty quickly. But she also would probably have the best shot at reforming Carnage. Thank you for that very dumb question. I appreciate that.
Hey, look. Well, I'm going to ask another dumb question. Why not?
Like Cassidy, like as if I'm like, Cletus Cassidy. Oh, thank you for asking. I was just thinking of that myself.
Hey, did you think the questions were going to be normal on this show based on the pre-show questionnaire?
Listen. Now that we've got a reformed Carnage, Cletus Cassidy, the world is our oyster. We can really go anywhere from here. It's in the My
Little Pony world, no less, right? So that Time Shopper, I want to know, with him jumping all through time, what do you think is his favorite candy bar?
You took my fucking kid.
Fuck yeah, I took your fucking question, asshole.
Is there a candy bar that only exists in history that you guys missed? I don't know.
No, I'm asking, like, what do you think? What do you think his favorite candy bar would be? I mean, like, you wrote it.
Is peanut M&M's a candy bar?
A what?
Is peanut M&M's a candy bar, or is we talking about only in bar?
It counts. Yeah, candy. That's fine.
Yeah, peanut M&M's. He wouldn't have to travel anywhere. They still have it. Same recipe. I feel like it tastes the same now as it did in 1950.
So no matter what time period he's in,
Yeah, he's always good there. He doesn't even need to waste time traveling on that. He could just go to the corner. Yeah. Why? What's your favorite candy?
Me, bro,
What were you looking
I
for?
prefer a break, but I ain't singing any of that theme song. I got
Like a
close
Kit
enough
Kat bar?
to it to where, huh?
Like a Kit Kat bar? You're looking
Yeah,
for that type?
yeah.
Hmm. I ate a bunch of Kit Kat bars around Halloween time because I had extra Halloween candy, and I loved them as a child. And I didn't. I think I just like the idea of there being a bunch of them. You know, like you get the thing, and it's not just one candy bar; it's like 6 candy bars, right? Or like Twix, you get 2 instead of 1. But I'll take a Snickers bar over either of those, and that's just one.
Look, and damn it, okay. Like I'm good with the Three Musketeers. You can give me a Milky Way, but as I've said
Mhm.
on a previous interview, I prefer to give nuts, not take them. That's why I don't like Snickers.
Oh, give nuts.
Yeah,
Gross.
I
I
have
don't like
feeling
Snickers,
so
man. I don't. I'm not a
man.
fan.
You're not a nut guy.
I look, the only acceptable nut that I have ever found is a cashew.
Hmm.
Macadamian.
No,
You don't fuck with almonds?
no,
All right.
What the hell, man?
cashews. That is
That's
all.
that I gotta let you guys go if that's how we're gonna. I didn't know you guys were anti almond like this.
Oh no, I
Well,
look.
I know you eat almonds. I seen you down there eating. You probably ate an almond just now.
Like, yeah,
No,
see,
All show.
Hardaway's
those
probably ate.
cookies are coconut and almond flour. So
Yeah,
Yeah, all right. We're
look,
almond buddies. It's
I'm
all
the
right.
weird one. That's why I'm the unknown factor, Tony. I mean, I'm not.
It's a, there's no father to your style. You can't really pin down what sort of nuts this guy's gonna be into or
I
not.
mean, you can pin down that I'm nuts. That's for certain. I assure you of that. But I don't know much more than that, man. I mean, you could go listen to my music, which you might be inclined to, since you actually, like
How do
rap and such, and that is what we do, respectively. Is a lot of different things I'm not going to list all out of. If you want, like, those links are in the
I don't know
fucking
about,
comments.
but I'm more like in sync
it's
What?
like
and
I like
not
it.
about women. I'm nothing like in sync.
Oh, all right. Well, if you wanted to sell me, I would be always like NSYNC. I'll give that a listen for sure. That's a popular band.
Oh, if that's how this interview is going to go, I do think it's going to be over, Tony.
Get out of here! You telling me you don't like
Like,
the smooth sounds of JC Chazé? That guy had a voice like an angel.
I like my music with a bit more edge. I don't know
Well,
what else to say. Like, I'm not.
Dirty
There's a
pop.
there's a
Dirty
reason I
pop.
read Plush and not My Little Pony. You know what I mean?
shit. All right, damn. I didn't know it was like that.
That's because
I
you
don't
don't
know what.
understand.
Hey, man, I got issues, Tony, and I
I
try.
can see.
Yeah,
There's room for all of us here.
yeah. You say that, but
Your life.
no, look, everybody says that there's room for all of us, but if there's a fucking clock and the gear is broke, you get rid of it. And
No.
firstly, the way you could take that based on what I just said, oh my god, I could get like people like, who the fuck's he talking about? I'm not
Okay,
getting
so
into all that.
it was really great to interview you. Can we get you to say? Can we get you to say your name and this is the questionnaire?
Real quick, just this is Tony Fleecs. Make sure you're checking out the questionnaire.
Yeah.
And if you want to throw in a little something, just tidbit of bullshit, do it up, Tony. And it's been a pleasure.
Yeah, for sure. I've had a great time. This is Tony Fleecs. I'm the writer of Stray Dogs and the writer of Artist of Local Man. You're listening to the questionnaire on whatever. Where are you on iTunes? You YouTube? What do you do?
Everything.
Spotify, Audible.
Okay, hold on. I'll do it. This is Tony Fleecs. I'm the writer of Stray Dogs and the writer and artist of Local Man. You're watching / listening to the questionnaire. Some of them like nuts. Some of them don't. Some of them think Godzilla could fuck up King Kong. Some of them are indifferent to the whole thing. Neither of them really fuck with NSYNC. But you're listening to the questionnaire everywhere you listen to podcasts.
If there was a fucking award
Oh my
You were
God, Tony!
man.
No.
I feel like I crystallized what the show is, right?
And cheers.
Oh God damn it! I got so much editing to do. I need to edit the fucking 27 and 28 drops I got into something dope because I got. Oh, that was beautiful, Tony, and it's been a pleasure. For everybody out there that's checked out the show, which it may be 2 parts, it may not. I don't know. It depends on whatever, because it's maybe a 2-parter, right? Make sure you check out all the links in the description, man. Check out Tony's work. I highly if you like serial killers and you watch the fucking Disney dogs and all the dog little or all dogs go to heaven shit like that back in the day. I recommend the absolute crap out of Stray Dogs because it will be look, if you are if you're like one of them chicks that's like, oh, I love serial killer stuff and I love some Disney movies and you don't read Stray Dogs, you are missing
I'm gonna
out.
tell you. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, you're missing out on something you need in your life, and that is all I'm saying on that regard, right? But if you've enjoyed this interview, as Hardaway gets really, really creepy up on close on the camera, right? With Tony Fleecs, I want you to send the abominable snowman to his door, right? With some fresh Alaskan salmon and a bunch of dope old school Star Wars figures. Yeah. Now,
Well, that's for my question.
if you haven't enjoyed this interview, stop giving away shit, Tony. If you haven't enjoyed this interview, and for some reason Tony just you're like fucking asshole Fleece, man, you got a problem with him, right? I want you to send him the devil, right? To take him to a hell with just way too much brown and green in it that smells of old hot dog water. I don't think he'll enjoy it. Yeah. But this has been episode
So I think you didn't like chocolate starfish and hot dog flavored water, did you?
I mean, I don't think it's the best Limp Bizkit record for sure, right? Like the
Fair
other
enough.
better.
Fair enough.
This has been me taking a guess at the fact that this is like episode 28, maybe 29 of the questionnaire. I'm not sure. I'm the unknown factor.
Yeah.
You asshole, that's where you're supposed to go. And yeah, I'm JD Hardaway.
Oh, I'm JD Hardaway. Sorry, my daughter was telling me something that was super important, bro.
What, does she have a question for Tony? Does she have a question for Tony?
No, she has to poop.
Called the question. Now she got to poop.
Well, poop happens, ladies and gentlemen, but this has been Tony Fleecs, man. Make sure you check that out. Make sure you check out all of them links. And
Tell your shop to get Local Man. It's in store February 22nd. You can still order it up until the end of January. So tell your shops.
Oh, so wait, that ain't even started dropping issue for issue yet? Oh, Tony, you gonna make me have to pick that up dude, I'm so sick of you people not just dropping graphic novels. I say that like I don't love comics too. I'm whatever, my pool list is just gonna get longer. Dave probably loves the fact that I run this show because I keep on running across people and they're like, oh yeah, I got this dropping coming out soon, and I'm like, oh, you're getting that. Whatever. Make sure you click all the links. Check out Local Man, Stray Dogs. Like I said, you got all the info down below. You can get to know Tony even more than we have in this interview. And hey, give it a thumbs up, like, and all that good shit. And hit that bell so you can keep up with this quest. Have a good night, y'all.